Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Normal here, and in this video we're going to do a speed test comparison of two mid-range smartphones, the ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1 with the Realme one. So both the phones have 6GB RAM and a 64GB storage. We have 128GB of storage on the Realme one, while it's 64 on the ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1. But the RAM is 6GB RAM on both these devices. Now both the phones run on Android 8.1 Oreo out of the box. We have more or less stock-like version on the Zenfone Max Pro M1, while we have the Color OS on the Realme one. So in this test, we'll open these 16 apps in the round 1 and see which is faster. So we'll be looking at the total time taken to open these apps and not individual performance. And in the second round, we'll see which is able to retain all the apps in the background. So that's the test we are going to perform today. So let's get started with the comparison, and let's see which is faster in the round 1. So now we have started the speed test comparison, and you can see that we just started loading all the apps. So let's wait for the first round to complete. So in the first round, you can see that the Realme one has completed in 58 seconds, just followed by the ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1 at 59 seconds. So just 1 second's difference between these two devices. You can see that the Realme one uses gaming acceleration mode, and that's the reason that 1 second difference between these two devices. And we'll just see how the performance is in the second round, which is able to retain all the apps in the background. You can see that in the second round, ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1 has completed in just 25 seconds, while even with the gaming mode enabled, or gaming acceleration mode enabled, you can see that both the games were reloaded on the Oppo's Realme one. So that's the disadvantage of having the gaming mode. Once a lot of apps are there in the background, it clears the background apps, and as a result, you can see that both the games reloaded on the Realme one. So it took 40 seconds for the second round on the Realme one when compared to the 25 seconds on the ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1. So total time taken is 1 minute and 25 seconds for the Zenfone Max Pro M1, while it took 1 minute and 38 seconds for the Realme one. So that's the speed test we have completed, and you can see that the ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1 is the winner in this round, and both the devices have 6GB RAM. Now we'll also open the apps side by side, so you can see that we have cleared off all the apps from the background. Now let's open the games. So let's see which is faster here. So both these devices loads the game pretty fast. You can see that Oppo's Realme one is a tad faster with the gaming acceleration mode, especially for games. You can see it is a bit faster. But when it comes to apps, you can see that the ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1 is a tad faster than the Realme one. So there is no major difference between these two devices. Only difference probably is the memory management, and that's where the ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1 is slightly better. That is a side-by-side loading of apps on these two devices. So that was the speed test comparison of the ASUS Zenfone Max Pro M1 with the Realme one. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button for more videos. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.